Hello everyone. Very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to our global audience. Thank you so much for joining and thank you so much for your patience. I am Rohit Rajput, Digital Marketing Project Manager at Soluzione IT Services. Welcome you all to another insightful session on enhancing your Dynamics 365 CRM productivity. Today, we will see the live demo on how you can visualize, transform your CRM workflow with our Kanban Board Add-On for Dynamics 365 and Power Platform, and the value it brings, plant features, and we will also have a look out to other add-ons by us. So before we dive into a demo and discussion, I would like to take a moment to introduce our company. Soluzione, established in 2011 by industry expert, Soluzione is a software development company specializing in Microsoft Dynamics 365, Power Platform, custom software, and mobile app development globally. Over the years, we build ready-made custom solutions across multiple industries like education, insurance, finance, non-profits, and one of which we are discussing today. And we also have a division specializing in media and video production services. It is now my pleasure to introduce our host for today's session, Mr. Sourav Chatterjee, Director Sales at Soluzione. Sourav brings a rich experience in enabling clients to adopt Microsoft solution and other IT platforms tailored to their business problems, delivering real value and measurable outcomes. He is also spearheads media solves, creative visions, helping brands and organizations communicate through powerful visual contents and digital experiences. So, Saurabh, over to you.
Thank you, Rohit. I hope I am visible to everybody and I'm audible. Welcome to all of you on this going to be very interesting session on Kanban board. Actually, it is Kanban board for MS Dynamics. So this particular solution developed by Soluzione is essentially oriented towards improving the productivity. It also actually implements the principle of managing backlogs and managing tasks within Dynamics in a more visual way than what comes out of the Microsoft Dynamics out of the box views. So without wasting any more time, I would want to quickly jump onto this topic and discuss what this solution is all about. Okay. So here we are. Let's start talking about what is the significance of Kanban in a CRM kind of situation. So Kanban essentially has its origin to the Japanese Japanese way of working on using cards to distribute or share information. Kanban literally means visual signal. So in Japan, when they were actually mastering task management or manufacturing, they used Kanban essentially to work in teams yet distribute their tasks effectively. So each Kanban card contained critical information necessary. It cut out most of the detailed information, but it was essentially showing the critical information. And these cards could be moved through various stages of a process to show what is the task at hand, what is the task left, and what is the task which has got completed. Now, this is a feature was available in some CRMs and was definitely not available in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And because of the very power of Kanban boards in managing data or managing tasks or managing information in a complex process situation, when it is actually implemented within a CRM, it brings in a lot of productivity. It brings a lot of better user experience, and that is one of the challenging areas in which Soluzione was working for a customer, and we were able to address some of the challenges in presenting CRM information in Kanban boards or Kanban cards. To add a little more context to what we are discussing, here is a comparison of how data appears in an out-of-box CRM, Dynamics CRM, that is on the left hand side, you can see a grid view. Typically, it's a list which has got fields. We've got topic, potential customer, status. These are all fields. And on, the rest of the grid actually shows the records. They are the records with information on those particular fields. Now compare that to the way information is being shown on the right hand side. As you can see, there are color coded cards. Each card has got fields, and there are some things known as columns. These columns are also called swim lanes in common language as far as Kanban is concerned. These swim lanes can show stages, they can show category of work, they can show various kinds of attributes that card belongs to. So if you've got, say, a card in a particular swim lane, it shows that that particular tasks is categorized under a particular activity or particular category, and there are records which are shown in a detailed manner. When we go on to the demonstration, I can show that how richly these cards can be configured within Dynamics CRM using our solution, and it will demonstrate the power of Kanban cards or the Kanban view compared to using a grid view for getting work done. Just a little bit more about what are the challenges involved around this particular solution area. Say for example, imagine a situation where you're not having a Kanban board, or what is the way people work. Typically, it means that people have to go into a record, and the visibility of is quite masked because it is limited by the number of fields. So for each activity, you might have to go inside a record, check the record, and then probably take up an action. Manual navigation across records is slow because you have to get into a record, save it, get out, and then move to the next record. So you cannot get to see much details at the record level without actually going inside the record. Similarly, because Kanban cards can be dragged and dropped across various stages, you have to do a lot of updation of records or you have to go inside a record and do an update, and then expect the record to move to the next stage. In the case of Kanban board solution that we have developed, we are able to drag and drop and operate these records or move these records across various stages using a drag and drop facility. This was also a challenge which was solved by our solution development team. So here is what the board involves. There are issues that have been solved. So I'm highlighting these three major issues to show that how challenging it is to actually build something like Kanban board, because most importantly, there is a limitations around the visibility of large data sets. So every record might have got multiple fields. So if we are able to configure the Kanban board correctly, then only it will be useful. We have to show critical information which is utilized for a person operating on those records to make him productive. This moves to the second point, is that can we customize the Kanban cards across processes, across workflows, across different kinds of work areas. Say for example, a salesperson's Kanban board might look very different than say a developer's Kanban board. Salesperson will be working with leads, opportunities, etc., while a developer might be working with test stages like development, code review, testing, things like that. So every person who's actually operating within the CRM or within Dynamics 365 would have a work area or a process that they tend to follow. So if the Kanban board can be customized to follow the process, then it will be useful. So this is one of the major highlights that exists in the Dynamics 365 solution that Soluzione has built. That is, it not only can be applied to standard entities within Dynamics, but if, say, for example, the user has a very customized implementation of Dynamics with a lot of custom entities, then the Kanban board will be as useful because it can be applied to custom entities as well. When we are going to see the demo, I will show a Kanban board which is from a sales side point of view, and there is another Kanban board I will show where it is going to run on custom entities. on, say, something simple as tasks, a custom entity like tasks that we have built in project management. So we'll show that particular thing. Most importantly, one of the challenges that exists is that if a Kanban record is updated, will it show up in real time, or you have to run some kind of a special script, or you have to wait for some time before it gets processed and it is visible across the CRM. So this is one of the challenges that has been solved by Soluzione. Any updation that you do at the Kanban board level automatically starts reflecting in real time. So this is a major advantage of using the solution that has been built by Soluzione, and it is something that I will show and demonstrate when we are doing the demo. Quickly summarizing, what is our solution all about? Well, it has a Kanban board view of existing records, where you can actually drag and drop records across stages or across swim lanes. We can do some aggregations, or we can synthesize data at a stage level or a swim lane level. It can be counts, totals, etc. I will demonstrate that as well when we are actually seeing a Kanban board. Most importantly, as I summarized, that we can actually make the Kanban view reflect the workflow which is actually running. So it seamlessly works with workflows, ribbons, and other functionalities that are existing within CRM. So you can search a Kanban board as well. You can search records within the Kanban board, and it actually absolutely reflects the way CRM has been configured. More importantly, to make it more useful, and it can follow the company branding. You can actually adjust the width of the swim lanes, the color of the swim lanes. You can obviously configure what fields are existing within a Kanban card, and you can actually define how the data and the color coding changes as stages changes. So there are various kinds of customization possibilities built within the solution. I'll demonstrate some of that, and more importantly, we will show that how these Kanban boards reflect data in real time. Okay, so we'll move on to a demo, and I will just give me a second. I will just bring up my CRM. So here is an instance where the Kanban board has been configured on a standard entity like opportunity. Well, what was actually being seen before this add-on is implemented was something like this. So here is the same data of this entity, which is being shown in a grid which comes out of the box. So as I mentioned, here are fields that I have configured my grid view to, but you would all agree that when I show this data in a Kanban view, the storytelling improves at a record level, at a process level. So here the process is very, very transparent to me. That is, I can see that there are 4 stages of actually working a record within the opportunity entity. So first I will qualify the record, then I will develop that particular opportunity, then I will maybe make a proposal, and finally a record moves to a close stage where we are actually either winning or losing. If you see, this data that is visible on a Kanban card, okay, it contains the topic, it contains which date this was created on, who is the customer, or what is the which account this particular opportunity belongs to. I also can configure a description which actually tells me about this particular opportunity. So it is a lot of text, but look at the way it is actually getting displayed out here. And of course, I am getting the critical information in a sales environment as to what kind of revenues I can expect if the opportunity is closed or we win this opportunity. As you can see, at the swim lane level itself, I am getting the total number of, total amount of, the qualified leads. So I have got the value of this pipeline displayed out here. So the value of my opportunities at the development stage displayed on top. I'm also seeing that right now there are 5 records which are being displayed out of the total of 22 records. So I would want to see, for example, move and show what are the other records. So I'm getting to see the next set of records. So now 10 of those records out of this 22 records are being visible. So as you can see, this particular view is pretty intuitive. It is telling me the story of my sales pipeline in a much more clear, fashionable way. It is like it is something that I can use instead of trying to dig into each record to understand what this opportunity is all about. What I've done is I've created a test opportunity case, and look at the functionality that I can do out here. I can update the revenue to say, if I've got some additional information without actually opening the record like I used to do in Grid, I am able to update, the record out here itself. So here it is. I have updated the value. It's not saved. Just hold on, please. So the test opportunity has been now moved to the development stage, and I did not have to go inside the record to do it. So in a normal function, it would update as well as I would be able to move it across to the next stage and so on. So as you can see, each of these records can be moved across the 4 stages, of the process itself. So this process has been defined, and we are able to actually operate at this level. Mention again, all these fields are customizable. They can be configured, and they can be color coded, and the color schemes, etc., can be changed. And we can also configure it to different processes within the company. So right now it is configured to the sales process. I can also see something like a lead to opportunity process, which shows a different process and the Kanban board for that particular process. Okay, so even though stages are the same, this is a separate process within the CRM in which I can get to see the Kanban board for that particular process. So within the same entity, you can actually show the Kanban board for multiple processes. I'll just go to another, view. So let me just go into something like a, custom entity. So here is a customized implementation of Dynamics CRM. So, okay, here it is. So all my to-dos are seen in this Kanban board. Okay, so there are 619 tasks in my organization which are yet to start. Okay, so these have all got queued up. I can get to see information about these tasks. Normally, if I were not to use Kanban board, this kind of rich information would not be possible to see. I'll just show that in a default grid. This is how it will look like. It will look like something like a list of tasks which does not tell me much story. So this is rows and columns of data, huge number. So there are 5,000 rows which are being visible out here. Now, based on, it is very difficult to start working on something like this, because for each activity I have to go into the record and check. But moment I'm into some kind of a Kanban view control, each record starts telling me a story upfront. It takes a bit of time because we are also on a webinar, so pardon my internet speed. But as I've shown you, this view gives a lot more information to the user. It is a lot more user friendly, and the user adoption of once people start using Kanban board, they often cannot switch back to the grid view just because of the ease of use that this particular view provides. So as you can see that I can move out one card to the next one, right? So this is a very useful, what I should say, feature whereby we can drag and drop a record. I will just move and show you how the Kanban board gets figured. How you can customize your Kanban board. So typically when you install Kanban board, it is available in your Dynamics 365 as a solution. I will go into that solution. So here I can see the entities on which the Kanban board has been configured. So I earlier showed you opportunity. So here is the Kanban configuration for opportunity. So it shows me two separate cards on which I can do the configuration. One is the configuration of the swim lanes and the configuration of what data gets to be seen on cards. So you can select, say for example, whether to work it, whether this particular configuration has to be applied on the business process, or you can actually look at a pick list. So the second Kanban board which I was showing you was on a pick list. The opportunity Kanban board that I showed you was on a business process. Similarly, you can define the process on the default business process on which the Kanban board or Kanban view should start getting displayed. It shows various kinds of aggregated field that you can do. So here are various calculations that you can display, or the aggregations that you can show at a swim lane level. Currency, suppose you have got opportunities in multiple currencies, but on a Kanban view, you want to see it in a default currency. For example, you might have opportunities in Australian dollars, US dollars, but you can configure that the Kanban view actually shows you only in Indian rupees. So it will convert all of that into Indian rupees and show you. Here, as you can see, there's a color pattern related to the lane. We want the color of the lanes to be colored. You can actually set the width of the swim lanes. The number of records it should show on default view. Suppose records exist in that particular entity which are not classified, you want to see them separately, it allows you to do that. Suppose there are multiple records and multiple processes running, this particular field essentially enables parallel processing of the records. It actually prevents the views from getting timed out. There are card conditions. For example, if you want to attribute a particular color to a particular stage, you can actually define the color out here itself for that particular card itself based on stage. On the right hand side, you can actually define what all fields will get displayed within the card. So as you can see, all the fields that are available within the entity are also can be called from here. Okay, so here is a list of fields that are there. So you can actually cut out unnecessary information and only keep critical information required to work on that opportunity in the Kanban card. So this is something that is a very useful thing as far as showing the right kind of information on a Kanban card. Of course, Soluzione can customize, and based on business processes, we have often helped our customers customize it. But this is something like the basic configuration that can be done by users themselves when they are configuring the Kanban, Kanban card itself. So here is more or less the end of the demo, but so here is, after the demo, you can summarize, why one should choose Kanban board view from Soluzione instead of the normal out-of-the-box view. Of course, there's visual process tracking, which is why the Kanban as a concept exists. The drag and drop simplicity. It supports custom entities. Some people would argue that Dynamics nowadays also comes up with a Kanban view for some of the entities, but the solution that Soluzione has developed, we can actually use it for any custom entities. So enterprise implementations where typical customizations are done, often those Kanbans are not available, but with our solution, we can actually configure it for any entity that exists within Dynamics. Real-time aggregation is something that I showed you in terms of sum total values being totaled at swim lane level or at the card level. We showed that you can select the workflows which are existing within Dynamics CRM, whether they are native workflows or their custom workflows, we are able to configure to that. And more importantly, it supports all the features which are existing within Dynamics, like sort, filter. So the order in which the Kanban gets visible are also something that can be configured within our Kanban board solution. Question and answers. I'm sure if there are some questions, we'll be able to take them. I have the support of my team as well today to answer some of the questions which might be out of my league. But I have showed you that, as a user, and I'm a sales user, how useful this particular view is for somebody who's actually not wanting to work at a detailed record level, but wants to manage the sales pipeline. So it is a boon for managerial people, for people who want to have a higher level view of what's happening within their organization using the Kanban. Thank you, Rohit. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Great evening. Thank you.